IVM.
कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen yaar, don't be so conservative. Yes, just made 10 o'clock. Just made 10 o'clock. For me, that's the only important part of the show. Be on time. After that, I gave a FUKT, which is Phuket in Haryana. I don't really care what happens. Substance never been important. I've lived my life with a shallow thought and I want to continue that way. Quick rant before we introduce one of my favorite people on the show. Actually is one of the most laid-back producers I've ever had in my life, which I think is just lovely and never seem to ever feel any pain or anxiety, but which of course will end once he marries somebody. But my rant is different. I had a fight again, argument rather, with a guy on the road, again coming up to the one way, and all I did was I used the abuse. Now I've started this style where I don't abuse fully. So I instead of Maki whatever, I said Maki Jai. I paused like a comedian. I go Maki Jai or Teri Behan ki Shadi. Now I'm saying, shouldn't that be allowed as non-abuse? Because then, of course, he got angry and abused me properly. Then I had to abuse him properly. I was like, look at my creativity. I abused you, but I didn't abuse you. So I made my point and you were not offended. But he took offense and abused me and I was offended and I offended him back. And it went on. So it failed. My point is, let's put it out there that we should have what is called the pretend abuse, which is not abuse, and people should not react badly to that. It allows you to take out the angst and at the same time make your point, and the other guy doesn't have to take too much offense from it. We'll discuss it. It's called Cyrus Says.
Working Monday to Friday glued to your chair making you feel dull? Worry not. Get your 5-minute weekly dose of travel around the world with Postcards from Nowhere. Join me every Thursday as I explore the strange, obscure and fascinating parts of the world and bring out facets of travel you may not have thought of before. You can find us on the IBM Podcast app, website or wherever you get your podcast from.
Abbas joins us, our last producer before Silvery. That's true. Everyone who works on our show loses hair. Amit, point in place. Abbas, point in place. Silvery, coming soon. Yes.
Yes. Man, I didn't sign up for this. I should have been told this earlier.
Don't worry, you're growing it on your chin, so you can just replace it later. No worries. Yeah. Abbas, welcome back to your own show.
Hi, yes. Great to be back.
Quickly before we start, what are you up to? I heard you've got a driving license now and Uber. Is it Uber, is it?
Driving license expired.
So what do you do? What's going on? Are you working as a comedian? Are you getting in the lockdown? It must be hard.
That's the thing. I quit the job to take up stand-up comedy full-time, and then stand-up comedy quit by March itself. I freelanced a little bit here and there, and now I'm working with Made in India right now, which is May Thomas's collective.
Which used to be our show, which now she took and went somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
No legal issue there, but because she's a sweet girl, we'll let it pass. You get one pass for corporate injunction, and then we deal with it in a more specific way. No.
May went
happily.
May went happily. Yeah, I mean, like there was no issue at all over there.
Oh God, Amit, I touched a serious bone here. I was just being stupid.
No, because we had a lot of conversations about it, right? I mean, like I spent time with May on making
leave. So, Abbas, nothing has changed. It's a lot of crap. We have 5 minutes of substance per day, but we're having a lot of fun. And since nobody can really go anywhere still, January has not changed much. This is the new life. So in a sense, you don't have to worry about reaching on time for my show like in the old days.
No, but this was nostalgic in that sense, right? I mean, like we were, I mean, like when Abbas was producer, we were always waiting for him to show up. And right now he showed up at exactly like 9:50, 9:40. I mean, like 20 seconds before 10 o'clock he showed up on the stream. So it was nostalgic.
It was. Is that the right word? Or deja vu, which can always send you in the other direction completely. Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Abbas had asked me to wake him up at 8:30 in the morning today. I've been calling him since 8:30 every 10 minutes. And he picked up at 9:50. It's the craziest.
Abbas, you should have just gone into dentistry.
All time.
You'd have had a normal life. You'd be up at 7 in the morning and going to work under 9. And you'd understand all this. This bloody comedian crap that you guys want to do. I mean, working hours. Unless, except for prostitution, I can't think of a night watchman. Not the cricketing terms, but your night shift watchman. I can't think of anybody else who has this kind of life.
Podcast producers.
And they get paid
now.
By the way, the first two.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Podcast producers also, apparently, I said.
No. Do you do late night now, Amit? After we keep them up in the morning, you send them out?
No. I mean, like sometimes, but not often.
You'll burn out my young stock here. Silvery already looks finished.
Well, I try and tell them not to work late at night, but then they want to work late at night, so what can I do then?
You can't do that for long. That's like, banking, investment banking, that kind of thing. You'll just burn out because there's no end to it.
Well, there isn't, but I mean, having said that, the way we look at this, right, is we look at this from a point of view of just basically get the work done. What time you work is not really that important. Right. I mean, like if you want to start at 9 in the morning, start at 9 in the morning. You want to start at 11 o'clock in the morning, start at 11 o'clock in the morning. It's fairly flexible.
Yeah, we've discussed this before, like most of our conversations, but you say that, but then as an entrepreneur, what happens to discipline in the end? I also agree with you. Ultimately, you have to deliver. We want to do this show or that show, put it on the table or send it up, upload it, whatever. But having said that, there's no sense of discipline anymore.
Yeah, so, these things evolve, right? I mean, like I remember I was talking to a guy who runs an ad agency just yesterday, right? And we were talking about the difference in how work culture is in some ways, right? When I first started working, right, my first job, as we've all heard many, many times, was working on that Bollywood movie as the assistant director, right?
You really hate Bollywood because of that one experience.
Well, no, it's not that. I love movies, right? But I mean, like that was my first job, and my first day there, I went to the producer.
Did you do the G thing, Amit? Sorry to interrupt.
Because
they would be like Hanji.
No, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I attached the sir instead.
You westernized the G.
Yeah.
That's your contribution to Bollywood.
What can I do?
You took the G out and brought the sir back.
I brought the sir back. I couldn't.
You're just an English-speaking Bollywood guy.
When I say the word G behind somebody's name, I feel like it's sarcastic. I feel like I'm being sarcastic
with your drawl, it sounds. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. Karan G.
If I say Cyrus G, it's like, dude, I'm actually mocking you. I'm not.
No, you're making me a rapper. This is Cyrus G in the house, yo. It doesn't work. Yeah, you don't say the G with the JE feel to it.
No, but I was talking to this guy yesterday, right? And what came up was when I started working over here, I went and asked the producer, "What are my working hours? Right? What is the job?" And he said, "Your job is to come 1 hour before the director and leave 1 hour after the director." Right? And I mean, like the world is a different world than it was then. Right. This was 20 plus years ago. Right. At that time, that was acceptable. Today, if I tell somebody that is your working hour, that's not an acceptable answer today. And it's probably for the better that it's not. But it isn't.
Yeah, but it swings and roundabouts because in those days, our parents' generation, my dad would be in the office at 9 and he would leave at 5.
Yeah.
Not a 5:01 and not 9:01. 9, 5. And for that, he would not do anything after 5. He would sit there and smoke his cigarettes and listen to his music. And if there was something to watch or whatever, television being stark, that kind of thing. But so that works that way.
I think that's because your dad was a lawyer, right?
Corporate lawyer. So he was in a company.
No, but lawyers have had more definite things, right? Whereas if you're looking at advertising or if you're looking at film or stuff like that, or any kind of media thing at that point in time, not that there was that much media then, the kind of hours were nuts that people are putting in.
Amit, we are hogging the conversation, and Abbas, his body language is looking horrible. No. And Silvery, I think he's in a coma.
I was just wondering, for a lawyer, I mean, if the court shuts down by 6 or something, then they have very little to do after that, right?
Yeah, court shut much before that, generally. I think court shut at 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Court shut much? I think the last docket said like 3.
No, not 3. Because there's a after lunch session. I had an accident case. I had 3 o'clock calls. Just irritate me because I'd like to be home.
Who did you?
I banged into a lady. Oops.
No, as in like the last call time is 3 o'clock. So shut by like, so basically the last reporting time to court is 3 o'clock. Yeah. So you're done by 4:30.
Yeah, that's what. And parking in the Oval becomes available at 5 in case you want to walk your dog.
Why? Just one question. Why don't courts work 24/7 considering they're the
bring in the legislation.
The paragon.
You do it, Abbas. Fair enough. You're right. And because they're always outnumbered by cases, I mean, you're right. More hours make sense. More judges make sense. More prosecutors make sense.
I mean, but
makes sense. But you know how government offices work anyway.
That's true.
Like,
they have another thing.
24/7, nothing gets done. What's the point?
I won't mention which case, but today Mumbai High Court is completely chock-a-block with 2 cases, which I won't mention, which the government, the present Maharashtra government is facing, and obviously the centre is pushing. And so all the other cases, because I have 2 lawyers in the morning in the gym, and they were just saying that nothing can pass in the High Court today because this is all they're going to go for. Which again happens from time to time, which then the backlog of all the small cases. Justice is supposed to be blind. There should be no small case. Like my accident case was a small case because the lady ran into the car literally, and instead of being fined, I was asked to appear. But my point is, everyone is equal under the eyes of the so-called law and all that. So what happens to that? But this is the logistical nightmare of the truth, which is it'll never change. The politicization will happen and influence will happen, and you can't do much. I don't think.
I mean, like, more than like multiple shifts, I think, like, the real thing, the one of the real big problems is the vacationing of these.
But then they have a holiday court. You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to. Well, obviously, it becomes less on that holiday, but you have some proportion of cases have to be taken on. They can increase that.
Why is this court any different than any other?
Because they make the rules.
Government job either. You take your leave when you need to take your leave. Why does everybody have to take? Why does this all have to happen at the same time?
Yeah. Sometimes in working hours, I find the lawyers versus the judges practicing at the Oval Maidan where I walk my dogs. I never say anything because I'm from the legal fraternity, but I'm like thinking it's 4:00. You should still be there.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be here. But it is what it is. But by the way, if you see me looking right all the time and expressions coming out of my face and all, it's not because of the cricket match. It's simply because I like paintings and I've got lovely paintings everywhere and I'm an artist, aesthete. I look at things, I react, I'm sensitive, I internalize pain, angst, desire, all this in one go. What the hell are you drinking? Is it Bonvita? I love Bonvita.
It's coffee, black coffee.
Can Bonvita sponsor us? Because I love Bonvita. I won't be lying.
Okay, so let's ask them to sponsor us.
Then you'll have to ask quiz questions, Cyrus.
Oh, that's with a slight Anglo-Indian Bengali accent mix and mention TMC Zindabad from every third question. A lot of anti-BJP questioning will happen also. Yeah, which is the wrong government for India? Question 1. Who should be the next Prime Minister? What's her name? Question 2. Oh, superb. Silvery, as usual, we got Abbas on and Amit and me have pontificated about rubbish, gone nowhere. I mean, we've discussed Teri Maa Ki Jai. That's what you're getting out of this show so far. Come on.
Should we get to the topics?
Yes.
How are we going to catch up with Joe Rogan? I've seen him cry, by the way. Do we do highlights? We need to do highlights.
Of what?
GRE.
We should do GRE highlights?
We do.
No, well,
We do GRE highlights.
It's our tribute to him that we do the same thing, right? Not that we're copying.
Okay, all right. No, let's not do that. We've been around forever, dude. At this point, we're almost 6 years old.
No, but shows of this clips of this show do go out.
Yeah.
But that sounds stupid. We're almost 6 years old. It's like a little kid. I can drive.
You can't drive yet.
Bollywood brags.
Clips of this show do go out, Cyrus.
Yeah, we do.
You think I don't know? Of course I don't know. Nothing has changed, Abbas. I'm Amit's secret weapon. I never argue. I know nothing. I just quietly do the job and buzz off and go back to watching games. All right. Silvery, come on, bro. We've done nothing. We've freewheeled 13 minutes.
Yeah, all right. Let's get to the topics. There was in Staten Island in New York, there was a protest where a Republican politician, Leticia Romero or something.
Just do your best.
She was basically part of the protest. She was part of the protest. So this is a protest against COVID-19 norms. Okay, they were like, no mask, we don't want masks, we don't want social distancing, all that kind of stuff.
The cowboy fringe.
And during this protest, this Republican politician, she got really hyped up and she yelled, "Heil Hitler, Donald Trump." Okay. She apologized online because she got a lot of hate for this. She apologized online.
She sounded. Was she African American?
No, she was white. But she apologized online and said, "Guys, I want to clarify. I did not mean to say Heil Hitler. I meant to say Mein Führer."
Best
clarification. Hey, dude, one sec. Hold on one second. Wait.
Who's a comedian now? Mein Führer. No connection. Made that up on the spot while coming on my cycle.
I'm sorry. I mean, like, this woman is despicable and she's disgusting. But Antrix, read the damn article.
Yeah.
Read the article.
I read the article.
She was not talking about Donald Trump. She was talking about Bill de Blasio. She was calling him a Nazi.
The next. But
I read the thing. Yeah.
In sarcasm, maybe?
No. So, I mean, like, see, the thing is that you've all heard of...
I do that to my wife all the time. Behind her back, I go, the Führer and all
exactly.
that.
There's this thing called Godwin's Law, right? There's basically the idea that everything descends to calling them Nazi. Right? You call people a Nazi. All arguments on the internet eventually devolve into calling people a Nazi.
Yeah.
That's the law idea.
Yeah. So the actual word Nazi or just words
no, just like
that?
You call them a Nazi, right? And so in this case, what happened was that this woman, she was protesting some mask ordinances or something like that, and she called Bill de Blasio. She wanted to call Bill de Blasio a Nazi or whatever. And listen, she's ridiculous and she's insane and she's all that.
No, I'm not understanding. She was anti-Bill. Bill de Blasio.
So she was anti the.
She was calling him a Nazi. Nazi for forcing her to wear the mask.
Yeah, exactly. She was
okay, so it's used completely different from what we thought it was in the setup.
Exactly. Right. So again, despicable woman, right? But at the same time, let's not.
No, she's insulting him and using a villainous insult. So she's being sarcastic, like I said in the first. If she was to say hail, so there's a different context. For me, that's a totally different perspective.
It is.
It doesn't make her an evil nutcase right winger who believes Aryan supremacy and let's destroy people left, right, and center because they're one shade lighter, darker, longer nose, shorter bum, whatever the fuck.
It probably does. I mean, like this particular woman, but we should be fair about how we talk about her, right?
No, like I said, in India, we're not allowed to compare anyone to Nazis because we don't have any people like that. There ain't nothing like our people are beautiful.
Why are we ignoring her clarification? She's like, I didn't mean Heil Hitler, I meant Mein Führer. I'm like, at least think of a better clarification if someone's accusing you for that.
So this is the beautiful thing. You're spot on, Abbas. She thought about it and came up with Mein Führer, which tells you this is a great human being in terms of ability to, spin things.
Again, I hate being made to. I hate defending people like this, right? I really do. But her point, but I mean, like,
if she was being sarcastic, it's all funny to me, honestly.
Yeah. No, and Mein Führer makes sense, right? Because calling Bill de Blasio Mein Führer makes sense. Calling Bill de Blasio Heil Hitler makes no sense.
Hitler doesn't make sense.
No, it does. Because you're making fun, the Hitlerian figure. I would do that. So we have this terrible guy in the club, for example, we're trying to get rid of, who's a bit of a fascist. So you'd use words like that, wouldn't you? Because you're actually disparaging the remark. The remark is not a positive one. So you're doing it from that perspective. That's what I'm saying. This is just philosophically speaking, she was in the right track, trying to put the guy down for forcing her. Forget the issue, what the issue is. Okay, so from her point of view, the guy is a bully and I'm calling you out. And so I'm sarcastically saying, am I right?
Yeah.
Heil Hitler. And I'm sarcastically saying, Mein Führer, whatever.
Yeah, but again, she is probably everything that you think she is, right? Because she is somebody who is using this language to protest a mask ordinance.
Maybe the only book she read was Mein Kampf. Today, people read so little. Whatever's available, you pick it up, you read it.
That is true.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
That is true. I was talking to somebody about that as well yesterday, how much people read.
I was trying to get a word in yesterday with with a certain gentleman about Hitler versus Stalin.
Okay.
I've been researching and Stalin's almost triple the amount of victims that on blood list on his scorecard as against Hitler's. Why does Hitler get I'm not defending Hitler, please. Horrible human being, don't want him in my family. A couple of the ladies do have that mustache, as I mentioned. It's just the way it is. It's like they glamorized him in a way. Is that the right word to use? As the biggest villain of all time?
Because most media coverage, right? I mean, his speeches are all in video. Most of the things that happen.
And Stalin was more shadowy, is what you're saying.
I haven't seen that much video footage of Stalin as compared to Hitler.
He was behind the Iron Curtain, right?
Yeah.
There was not that much media there. Also, I think there's one other kind of key difference between Hitler and Stalin. And Stalin is evil as hell, right? But Stalin mostly sent people to gulags, right? Whereas Hitler gave people poison gas.
Stalin didn't want his own son back when he was caught by the Allied forces.
Right, we
were caught by the German forces.
I'm not trying to defend, Stalin's evil too, right? I mean, you're sending people to gulags, you expect them to die at some point fairly quickly, right? But
it's not based on racist grounds, that's the only difference. It's just based on you are with me or against me.
No, there was a lot of racism too, right? I mean, there was a lot of repression of
non-Ruskies?
Basically, non-Caucasian Russians, right? So, I mean, there was a lot of Chechnyans, Siberians, there was a lot of repression around those kinds
those
of
are ethnically also of different religion, but they're also against Ukrainians and they've got their own problems,
Yeah.
But not them, we all. Human beings suck. Why don't we just accept that? Human beings are choots.
That is true.
I've been saying that from the beginning. That's why am I saying Teri Maa Ki Jai? I should just Teri Maa Ki. I mean, why? What's wrong with me? Slap. Okay, so that was the Heil Hitler business. We're done with that. Back to the next topic, Silvery, or should we take a break?
No, let's do one more. Let's take a break.
Okay.
This one comes in from South Korea, the city of Changwon. In the city of Changwon, they are doing something to increase the population because the reproduction rate is very low there.
Something? I'll tell you what that something is. Can I tell you?
No, wait.
It rhymes with ducking.
Okay. Okay. So if you're a couple in that city, in Changwon city in South Korea, you're eligible for a loan from the city close to $100,000, whatever that amounts to in the South Korean currency.
One time or per year?
One time. Now, if you have one child, you are exempted from the interest of that loan. If you have two children, 30% of the loan is waived off. And if you have three children, the entire principal amount, the entire amount of the loan is waived off. So basically, you have $100,000 that you can earn if you have three children.
They're just copying the Geo Parsi model, which is very similar. One child, you get a clap. 2 child, you get 2 farchas sent to your house. And 3 children, they actually sponsor the 3rd child. But they actually do, because it's really so rare. Suddenly you get 1. So 3 is like, wow, what did that guy? Kaikushiro has got something special about it.
Does Korea suffer from negative birth rates? I mean, like South Korea? Is that the reason?
Yeah, it does. The mortality rate is a little high, about 100,000 higher than
the replacement birth rate.
Yeah. Japan, South Korea, Scandinavian countries, all these countries just can't get their population going. Come to India, mates. Come to India. We'll help you. This is one problem we've never had.
From what I understand, India also, we've got like
a richer population.
60%, 65% of the country is at a point where we're at just replacement birth rates. It's only about 35% of the country where the birth rates are really high.
But what kind of people are in that 35%, Peter? Kind of people? Now, do I sound like mein Führer? There's a Führer in every one of us. Shall we take a quick break, guys? Yeah, I think we should. We'll take a... Abbas, you want to take the break? You haven't done it for a long time.
No, I'm fine with whatever you're good with.
You don't want that responsibility. I accept that. But if the sponsor doesn't come back after the break, whose fault is that? The guy who said come back. All right. So we're taking a break.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So everybody, please do help us out with our survey. If you haven't filled it out yet, it's on ivmpodcast.com/survey. This survey is really helpful for us. And, fill out the survey completely and we'll put you into a lucky draw and we will send you some IVM swag. And what a great week of episodes we had, and what an eventful week we had. Let me run through some of the episode highlights really quickly. On Pesa Vesa, Samir Nair of Applause Entertainment was on to discuss the web series Scam 1992. Great conversation with Anupam was had. Do check that out. Bhavish Sumaya of Hasbro was on Advertising is Dead. On Positively Unlimited, Chitna is starting a new series from A to Z. This week, Align. Do check that out. And on GabyCD, Farhad and Sunitra asked the question, what if they were straight? Interesting conversation. Definitely do check that out. I think you'll enjoy that. And one piece of news for you guys. Cyrus Says is now live on YouTube every weekday at 10 a.m. If you go to our IVM Podcast YouTube channel, you'll be able to catch us over there. And stay tuned for a lot more video content coming out in the next couple of weeks. And with that, let me get you back to your show.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored, I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me. And now we're back after that momentous occasion of break. I think everybody urinated right where they were because we didn't have time to actually go to the toilet. And we have lots of interesting topics with young Silvery.
Yep.
We so far have really given you not much. I mean, the birth rates in South Korea, in a small town in South Korea.
I just Googled the South Korean currency, which is a won. It's less than a rupee. It's 0.066 Indian rupee.
Don't go by that, but no, because... So is the yen. I mean, you've got to do a lot of maths.
No, but the story was that the government is literally paying you for having children. So I'm like...
100,000 US, right? He said.
Yeah, so with that is...
$100,000 US.
Which is millions and millions of won.
But converted, whatever the conversion is in South Korean won.
Okay. Still not worth having the child.
For $100,000? Yeah, maybe not.
Because the child is not Indian? Is that a racist
comment? Because it's a child.
No, because you have to have a child, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem, of course, is that if you have a child, you have to stay with the partner. These are other critical issues that are not looked at.
Not necessarily. I mean, American kids are used to having 2 Christmases and 2 Thanksgivings because their parents aren't together.
Nice. Yeah.
So not necessarily.
Yeah. But I don't know, maybe marriage is overrated. As the only married person, I suppose I have no one to debate
with. That's all you used to talk about, Cyrus.
That is true.
All right, now you depressed me. My energy's gone down already. I'm feeling sad and lonely.
Did you just have your marriage anniversary like 2 days ago?
Yeah, not 2 days, but I think about 10. I'll Google and tell you. But it was lovely. She let me put the air conditioner on in the night, finally, for 1 hour. So it was good. I got, you know how you give the refugee some food? It's like that. And then I was sent back to the base camp to dwindle my time on my own, which you know what that means. Okay. Silvery, back to you, sir.
Yep. All right. Next one. This comes from Gwalior. Basically, there is an organization called the Hindu Mahasabha, which are basically a Hindutva far-right organization.
One Muslim, one Parsi. We know what the Hindu Mahasabha is. You don't have to worry.
Okay, cool.
You're the only one living in Powai who hasn't heard of these fringe outfits because your life is beautiful.
Yeah. So basically, they had constructed, they had opened Nathuram Godse Library, which had to be shut down within 2 days for basically the same reason that Munawar Farooqui was arrested, for a law and order situation.
Are you comparing that poor little comic?
No.
Nathuram Godse?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The craziness of it, that Munawar Farooqui is arrested for the same reason that a library for Nathuram Godse is basically shut down. This is very sad state of affairs.
But did they arrest anybody?
They did not. They did not arrest anybody. They just shut down the library, and that's it. No other consequences, basically. There were
words like shut down a library firstly just sound wrong.
Yeah,
but I think,
honestly,
I know.
Even if there's a bunch of fascist crap going on there, or
I think they voluntarily closed it, right? I mean, like, it was, from what I read in the article, they said that, okay, we don't want any law and order, so we will close it. We just wanted to get our message out.
Yeah.
I wish that Munawar got the same benefit, no? That I just wanted to say some jokes, and now I'll stop.
Yeah.
He didn't even say those jokes.
He didn't.
Even say
those
those
were
jokes.
online. Apparently, didn't. Did somebody clarify that? Puneet, or someone clarify that for us?
I know.
Yeah,
he had
and
vegetarian
the police-
jokes for that population. He had studied his market. He had come out like a good boy. And they arrested him for social infringement, social law infringement, etc. Not too many people in the room, or all that crap. And that's why they're holding him.
Yep.
I don't think they can hold him on so-called defamation, which is very difficult to prove. I mean, without bail.
No, it's not defamation. No? It's all this public order nonsense, right? It's this.
That's what they use it
law
to
and
hold
order.
him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because where Munawar Farooqui goes, millions of people follow and flock, and that's how COVID spreads. It's been proven. So, yeah.
So I was, I'm sure you guys also read this. There was one of the police officers involved in this Munawar Farooqi's arrest. He was giving an interview and he was talking about
standing for election.
That basically,
not yet.
No, he was saying that there's no evidence. There's no evidence, that's for sure. But so what? Before the show even started, they were making jokes about gods and goddesses. That's what we've been told.
So
that's why they've been arrested.
But that's hearsay. That's like you saying that Cyrus and Abbas made a joke in their house. What is that?
Exactly.
One of the goons, or multiple goons, said that we heard them rehearsing the jokes before the show and they were objectionable. So on that count, they've kept him there. And the headline was very funny because it said, doesn't matter if comedian made jokes or not, he was going to do it anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
Which sounds like the plot of the Steven Spielberg film Minority Report.
It is.
With the name, the joke just wrote itself. Okay. I was like, okay.
Yeah. So I just want to know what the order is finally. Jailed for poor rehearsal. What?
I mean, more or less.
What's the tag going to be? 25 years RI because his rehearsal had a bad joke.
Be a good comedian and just wing it on stage. Do not.
Another guy gets out for rape. 12 years. Rape, arson, 7 years? This kid, he's in jail without bail.
I'm trying to understand what the thinking of the Madhya Pradesh government is also right around stuff like
that's
this.
That's a paradoxical phrase.
I get that, but I mean, like, do they not realize that arresting people so precariously and so with no logic whatsoever, that I'm not going to Madhya Pradesh anytime soon. Abbas, are you going to? Abbas, you're definitely not going to Madhya Pradesh at all, right?
Abbas stays where he is for in the home right now. I'm not taking any chances, bro. Beyond our blood on our hands.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, it's insane, right? I mean, like, you're basically killing off your entire state as a viable destination for anything.
Anything Western for sure, going in that direction.
Remember that ad campaign, MP ka dil dekho. Apparently it's heartless.
Now it's Dundlo. It's the same thing. They just change one word. But, the funny part in this whole thing is that we are supposed to be a democracy, but people in power never think of themselves as democratic people. They only think of themselves as totalitarian, sort of fascist people who don't tolerate other people. Nobody ever thinks, look, I'm a Democrat, so at least on principle, I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't just unnecessarily attack to free speech.
It's like this, right? So when the next hearing for Munawar's case came, I put out a tweet saying the process is the punishment, to which a lawyer replied to me saying that eventually he will get out. And then these people will point to that and say, see, the system worked. The guy is out. But the thing is, you're going to rail him so badly.
For a joke in rehearsal, he spent 3 months in jail. Is that
exactly.
fair?
That's the thing. But eventually, when he does come out, they'll be like, see, the system works. You said he was innocent and now he's out. So in theory, the system will work, but But yeah, I mean, you're rotting in jail for that long, and psychologically, the kind of effect it will have on you is
that is the definition of a chilling effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, like, this is exactly that. You're basically ensuring that nobody wants to come to your place and talk about it. It feels so stupid, right? It just feels like, why would you turn your state, or why would you turn your city? Indoor's a large city. Why would you turn your city into such a laughing stock? Right, where people are like,
ironically.
No, I like absolutely like, if anybody tells me that they want to go to Indore for anything, right? We've been thinking about, once lockdown comes up, we're going to start doing live events and stuff like that. We're doing live events in Indore? Hell fucking no. Absolutely not.
We'll test with Silvery first.
No.
One for the team, then the next guy. We'll see what we can do. Yeah.
Actually, it's possible that I don't get as much of that bad a response because I'm not in the minority. It's possible. You don't know.
No, there might be a little bit to that. But even if you're
leniency,
don't tempt them, Antariksha.
Exactly.
I know, I'm not
listen, if you're a Hindu background person and you're making jokes about religion, they're still going after you.
Yeah,
but what you're saying is, if you're non-Hindu, they'll go after you with more zeal, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. But they'll go after you because that's what people do when they have no work. That's what you have to do.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's so many people out there who want to police our morality and our thinking. And they themselves are just so unevolved that there's no point. You can't ever have a conversation with that person. What are you going to discuss? Whether there's sugar in the chai? I mean, I can't think of anything else.
Even with that, it'll be like, why two spoons? Why not three?
What really upsets me, Abbas, the problem is that why isn't mainstream press talking more about this? More people, why aren't big industrialists or big politicians coming out and saying, what the fuck is going on? They just ignored it. I know it's a small English-speaking group of comedians, blah, blah, blah. But it's a right to free speech. It's, I mean, do you have to do a Kunal Kamra and take on Arnab Goswami to get a little mileage?
But, I mean, like, we've got so many journalists in jail as well, right? For just questioning power.
So they're the ones who want to actually take it up.
No, but I think that, it is the same thing, right? I mean, like, the idea of speaking truth to power is not really it's not really something we do all that much, right? It's more like, hey, let's just try and get along to get along, right? I mean, like, that's the default. Let's not get ourselves screwed over. Let's not, it's sad.
Oh, you have to check which government is in power and what jokes you're going to do vis-a-vis that.
Yeah.
So there's another law for comedians. They're going to come to tuitions and study the practicality of what comedy you can do. Because ultimately this loose masturbatory effort will cost you. It sometimes throws out the gems and sometimes rubbish, but it will cost you because if you don't. And then once you get into that space where you edit yourself, you lose your creativity and you die. And next thing you're a news anchor and you're screaming and shouting and alleging this and that, and nothing is ever proven. What happened to Sushant Singh Rajput? Is it a suicide or a murder? Anyone wants to take it up? What's the conclusion there? What happens to Rhea Chakraborty and her life? Her family, the others are put in the net. They moved to a drug case in Bollywood. They just shifted from there and no one's cleaning up the mess. What happened to the case? They scream bloody murder. It's been disproven. Has anyone come on TV and said, by the way, we were wrong for 6 months? Completely wrong. Ames has clearly said forensic evidence, blah, blah, blah. It's a suicide. Not a word. Not a word.
There was a picture of Rhea with one of the Rajiv and Raghu. I don't remember which one. Apparently, I think they're seeing each other now or something like that.
Rajiv and Raghu seeing each other? Twins.
Rajiv and Raghu. One of either Rajiv or Raghu is seeing
I'll tell you, Rajiv is married. Raghu, I think, is unmarried.
Okay, so then one of the... so, I mean, there was a picture of them with Rhea.
So how do you want to go? More gossip, then we give it to Rajiv. Less gossip, then give it to Raghu.
Let's say it's one of the two, right?
One of them has been on the show as well.
What are they, naughty boys, and they swap, like, aaj main thak gaya.
No, but the amount of trolling that happened on that picture that went up, and there was still all of like, you killed SSR and you did this. So, I mean, like, that sentiment has not gone away that, that this guy was...
they've attached the chap and they've moved off. Yeah. The accusers. The rest of the world will continue to make her feel bad.
Exactly.
You're right. That's defamation.
That movement is very much alive. Even Daniel Fernandez, a comedian who's been on the show, he put out a clip discussing the media frenzy around the Rhea Chakraborty case.
Oh God, then let's stop the podcast.
On that video, more dislikes than likes. So yeah, nobody's listening to the...
Will dislikes bring a sponsor? Especially if you're trying to clean your money by putting out a failed...
The algorithm takes notice of it, the YouTube algorithm. If you get...
It's better to at least have dislikes, no?
That's true.
Well, let's go for it then. Daniel Fernandez, you're welcome to our show.
So, I mean, the bot RB to click dislikes is very much active for anything and everything regarding the SSR case.
I think it's so immature, and coming from me, the word immature, but really, I mean, who sits there and going, I don't like.
There are people who are getting paid for that. So yeah.
That's true. It's a movement. It's a counter movement. We've just lost the zeal to fight for right. And I mean right in another way.
I have a question about the Godse library thing, though.
Please do.
Was it like a physical library that they opened? Like
it must be a
physical
room
library.
Yeah, it must be a room.
Yeah.
So, which means that this went through a lot of paperwork to get
During this COVID time.
the library opening up. Did nobody in that chain of events take notice that, oh shit, it's a library with Nathuram Godse's name on it? Should we sign off?
No. So the excuse was that they want to instill true nationalism among the youth by showing Nathuram Godse and some of the works he's done.
Okay.
And also they want to show how he planned the assassination of Gandhi. So that's part of the thing, apparently.
Abbas, what you're talking about is not the Hindu Mahasabha wanting to create the library. Was there a process for making the library? Which,
yeah. If the library opened up, that means officials
with
must
the
have
title.
signed off on it with the title and given approvals.
In 2017, they had apparently at another location in Gwalior, they had put up a statue of Nathuram Godse, which again had to be taken down a week after being put up. Then 3 years after that,
the Godse library can exist even for 2 days is kind of scary.
Exactly.
But then aren't we becoming fascists ourselves and not letting counter views? I know he killed Gandhi and all that, but you want to stop opinion.
Because the guy who is being glorified here is an assassin. Like, he's a proven guy. Was for
Bhagat Singh is considered by many. It gets murky, right?
Yeah, it's murky, bro. Because I'm not saying, look, we're very clear, but this jingoism bit has to end also. You have to have an open forum. We have to be able to talk. If we can't talk, then we can never go forward with anything because you're not looking in from our perspective.
At this point in time, I think Abbas is right in that sense too, right? That
Abbas
when
is right.
All thought on one side is being shut down with such alacrity, why should you allow?
That's another point.
You should protest on the other side, right?
How many John Wilkes Booth libraries are there in the US?
Fair enough. No, that's a fabulous point that, the alacrity, the right word with which that happens to our people or people of creative bent or whatever you want to call them, who are just shining a light sometimes on society, nothing more than that. They've not killed any iconic figure. And why does the right get away with, suddenly glorifying whoever? And no, that's a fair point.
I mean, given that, I think, but if you were to ask me even a non-perfect world, but in a world which is a little better than this, I would say all points of view should exist simultaneously.
Yeah, I'm talking from a purely idealistic point of view from your thought process that the point and counterpoint should exist. So as much as you hate the Nazis and the movement and can't believe that people can think like that, in a true democratic sense, in an egalitarian sense, they have the right to express their thought. How ugly it is then law can decide.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you start an insurgency and take selfies with Nancy Pelosi, that kind of thing. I mean, you draw the line.
It's one of the things that I think about, when we do this podcasting thing, right? We've had some interesting conversations recently, right? And some of them have been a little controversial. But my thinking is always the solution to bad speech is more speech. Right. I mean, the solution is not suppression of speech. The solution is always more speech.
Correct.
Right. And I think that's how I think of things. But obviously, that's not the way.
Amit, we are evolved, you and me. Now, what are we going to do the rest?
Two of Amit's quotes always come in my head. One is that response to hate speech is more speech, and the other is truth has a liberal bias.
Yes. It does. It does. We can't help that. It does.
And for some reason, from the right perspective, it's always more aggressive and violent. I mean, that just goes with it.
Again, that's what we think. They think the same about us.
No. I don't think the left abuses as much, or the opposition, if you want to call it abuses. But there's so much abuse. You try.
They use big English words, which is kind of the same.
No, but there's a dignity to that. Huh? There's a dignified reaction to that. It's like sledging. You're saying stop these guys making racist comments, but instead of saying you're the son of a brown dog or whatever, they can say something. The banter can still continue without the same abuse, and you can still make your point.
But so here's the thing, right? I mean, again, I think they're wrong about this, but the right does generally think that the left is violent as well, right? I mean, like the Delhi protests early last year. over the citizen. Yeah, that's right. I mean,
Shine Bagh.
on the right, there's a belief that the violence was started by the protesters, not by the respondents.
Yeah.
Right. If you look at right now on the American right, all of the arguments are happening that basically we are letting the left present the Capitol as some sort of unique event, but what happened in Black Lives Matter was more or less the same kind of thing, with people burning down jails and breaking through shops and that kind of thing, right? So the point of view on the right, I don't agree with it, but is absolutely there that the left is the one that's starting the violence.
Okay, let's leave it there because there's no point arguing this point because you'll have to concede to the right, and that's not right.
No, we should not
at
concede.
The moment.
Yeah, because they're wrong. They're wrong about this. There are differences in all of this.
I just want young Farooqi to get out of that. I just think that from our little world, it's a very important thing that should happen. And
has a hearing at 12 noon, so let's see.
Let's hope that he's out.
Yeah.
All right. 15th, and if the bail money is a lot and we have to post it, I am willing to put up to
Cyrus, do you have a new Instagram photograph? I've gotten like 2 or 3 requests to show that. Let us see. Oh,
is it the bodybuilding?
Yes.
Oh man,
bro, those get the best responses. You don't know how many people just don't like you the moment you take off your clothes. They go berserk. Yeah. So what I did is I tried to swallow as much fat as I can, to keep the stomach in. Told the guy to take a picture. Yeah.
This is the solution for all the right and left.
I'm thinking when my time comes, I can at least take one of them down with me. No, what do you say, guys? Huh?
Yeah,
of course.
What are you going to tell me? I bench press 375.
All right.
There is a great follow-up question to this photo, like kind of related. Srinivas Kulkarni has asked.
Srini is an old friend. Yes,
should we just go to the Ames?
Let's go to the Ames.
You know him or he's one of us?
No, Srini is. I know him. He is basically he manages social. He works at Social Connect, one of the large agencies. He's a good friend.
Okay, can he bring money into the table?
Hey Srini, can you get us some money? He's HR over there. But Srini, get us some money.
HR में क्या करेगा? बस को placement करना है तो करो. What the hell, yeah, HR.
All right. So Srinivas Kulkarni asks, I started going to the gym today. Question for Cyrus: how many times do you sanitize your hands in the gym?
Okay, may I be candid? Because I'm a right winger when it comes to gyms.
Yeah.
That's my thinking is very right, not left at all. I don't think you should enter a gym with slightly sissy kind of tendencies in your mind because you're telling yourself not to lift. So cleaning your hands, wearing gloves, checking your pants and matching your shirt, F that. Be as rough and tough as you can. Come with coarse hands, come with a lot of ferocity. Otherwise, there's no point lifting. For weightlifting. For anything else, it's fine. So with whichever men who work out with me or around me, I'm always trying to push them. Let's keep our body language up, aggressive and angry, and not worry about cleaning your finger. And then when a guy comes and wipes a bar, blood rushes. I mean, like, oh God. I mean, he's really lowered the bar, if you don't mind me saying. That's just ridiculous. Because the whole body language, hello, I'm Vijay. Ping, 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 clean. Then clean the plate. Then it's like in a fucking kitchen. Then put the weights on. Then sanitize your hands. Then put the gloves on. I mean, what the fuck? What the hell? Are you doing surgery or just lifting? So it's just bad body language. I don't think you should ever do that. Mr. Kulkarni, don't do that.
I think they're being careful. Cyrus. Considering there's a global pandemic going on.
No, there's careful and there's paranoia and there's sissification of our society. I'm saying when you're doing warrior things, do warrior things, and otherwise it's an overrated thing, macho concepts for me. I hate men who behave like men for most of the day. But when you're doing things like sport, be as warrior-like as you can. There's no point coming in and saying, because your mindset is bad. There's no way you're going to lift well. They come in and they want to talk, WhatsApp, how was your weekend? It's all crap. Just get on with it. In that sense, right is right.
So don't shake hands with Cyrus after he's done with the gym.
No, I have this big problem with Kunal. When we go to do an event, we have 2 different philosophies. I love to start. I want to get on with it. And he goes into a nervous thing. So does Baman actually. That's the way they deal with it. And I hate their body language.
Relate with Kunal.
I'm like, why Baman pees every 2 minutes for some reason. Then he's like superb in front of the audience after that. So what's the point? What are you projecting? But it's their way. And you can say different strokes to different folks. But it really irritates the fuck out of me because I like an energy of positivity. Like we're going there. We're going to be like, we're the guys. We're going to have fun there. And they never bring that out. Of course, they do well most of the time. But in the beginning, the preamble to that, I'm like, what the hell? Quivering, quaking, 30 years in the business. What? There are 40 people out there. They like you, don't like you. What does it matter?
All right, there's another interesting AMA question.
Amit's sad enough. He's trying to find ways to get rid of me. He's calling HR
No,
now.
I'm just looking for...
Do we have HR?
No, we don't really have HR. We kind of do, but not really.
Damn it.
But here's an interesting question. What is the difference between Abbas as a producer and Antariksh as a producer? This is an AMA question that has come from Ashwini Deshpande, sorry.
Abbas is slightly closer to me in age.
Nice.
And his body language and chemistry is so contrasting to mine that we have a nice way of working. Like he's slow and then gives it back in this sort of laid back sort of British stiff upper lip way. And I'm like stammering and stuttering and going at 100 miles per hour. Silvery, I think, gives me too much respect, which I wish one day will stop. It's fake respect because he thinks I'm a prick after the show's over. But he'll send 3 thumbs ups, all that for no reason. I wish he'd send his middle finger because that's what he's really thinking. Especially when he says, "Can you please start the recording?" And I'll say no, just out of sheer, being a prick. And then he'll still say thumbs ups, please, like that. So I think that's an age thing he's got. He just thinks he's an old man. I got to show respect. And Abbas, on the other hand, puts you in your place in his quiet way. So
no, I still get tweets saying Abbas used to always pick such serious political topics. We're so glad Antariksh picks light-hearted, funny topics. And today I come and it's like, Godse.
That's true. I think Abbas and I together will swing towards the political realm very quickly and look at issues from our point of view very quickly also. I think Silvery lives in a slightly happier world in the sense that right now, his problems are a little different. But I think, we can get dark. Amit, Abbas and me.
By the way, I saw the breakup clip. I felt really bad.
Oh, that was sad.
And I was like, I don't know what's worse, the fact that he broke up or he has Cyrus to discuss it with.
But Antariksh, did you feel nice, that therapeutic feeling that bahar aa gaya? Almost like the bimari is coming out.
Kind of, yeah. It feels good to share with a million people.
I'm telling you, it's like when somebody calls you a bastard for the first time and you feel really scared or whatever. Oh, he's called me this word. But if it's said to you 20 to 30 times, you become immune.
That's true.
So you're dealing with it rather than hiding from it. So you did that. It's over.
Yeah. Like in all honesty, it actually did help. I'm just joking. It actually did help. Just
and you've got 3 girls now that you're dating without them knowing about the other 2.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's cycling his ladies.
Well, now they know.
He's cycling his ladies. He's learned well. He's now going to be one of those terrible Indian males.
Yeah.
Who's going to,
being broken up with 3 women at the same time is also great. So doesn't usually happen.
Well, it's a record.
No, it doesn't.
Nice.
It's a Powai record.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, one more quickly.
This next one.
Yeah, let's do one last one.
Yeah, last one.
This one is a little quite a fun question. This one comes from Shubham PK. He says, how has Cyrus, despite being born and bred in Malabar Hills, how is he able to still incorporate words like truth in his vocabulary?
What?
Oh, that's... this is another level of bigotry. This is boggling. Who is the guy again?
This is Shubham PK.
I mean, you're so rich, you don't know truth. It's too much. You have to ask your driver to abuse. Shamal, आप बोल दो. Word क्या है? वो train का जैसा आवाज वो क्या है? Yes, do that.
Dude, I mean, at some level, I think that the South Bombay thing, we get mocked more.
We're just born here. We're not rich.
Yeah, no.
Just tell them that.
No, and the degree of mockery is sometimes okay, ask me, tell me this, Cyrus. Until the last 5-7 years, did you hear people use the word bro a lot?
Bro and guys is my Punjabi go-to on the Hindi forums.
Yeah, it's not so
I just like to listen to that one word. Okay, hala yaar, what's going up, yeah, bro? And I would like to say कि हम लोग की हमारे पास जानकारी है आज जो मैं share करते हैं आप लोग के साथ. Guys, please keep it with you. And for me, it's like a music. I just like to listen to that music.
So I remember seeing somebody imitating a South Bombay guy once, right? I think Abbas, if you remember, we had done a series of small vignettes where people were pretending to play different characters. I think we had done that with the improv troupe that you were working with at that point in time, right?
Yes.
And the guy who was pretending to be a South Bombay guy, I'm sorry, I can't remember who that was, but every third word was bro. And I'm like, is that really what a South Bombay person sounds like? Because I've not heard that so often.
See, there's an affected Hindi in some of the speech in some of the elite schools, but it gets better when you start going to the real world. Like when I first started working in MTV and what I must have been before that, because, even Gujarati, I started speaking much more after I went to college because it was very anglicized, some of our growing up. But having said that, it's not like we don't know bad words. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Who would come up with that? But what I hate about South Bombay, if I had to really look inwards, is the lack of political consciousness. It's amongst the people that really don't seem to have any connectivity with politics. That's there, and I don't want to get gender biased, but it's even more there with the other gender.
Okay.
And so God says library should be shut, and we should not allow this kind of people out there with their views, one-sided nature. Transgenders are also people, and they should be allowed their views. That's all we have to say. But no, I over the years, because if you try to talk about politics, or you do a show or you write something about that, and somebody asks you about your work, and you can see the blank stare when you start discussing it, I mean, you've already lost points. So where do you go to from there? Because they have no empathy with the situation, especially if there's a political incident that happened. Let's say the insurgency last week or whatever, and the other person is like, what? So I've had those moments. I don't know, Amit, if you've had, but I've had those moments a lot.
I mean, so I think that so there's different degrees of, like everywhere, right? There's different degrees of political involvement of different people, right? Some people you talk politics with, some people you talk latest Netflix with, some people you talk about where you get the best Caesar salad in Bombay, right? I mean, like everybody has different this, I mean, like there are some people there's absolutely no point talking politics to because they don't know shit. They don't pay any attention to it.
Yeah, but if, with most Delhiites or Bangaloreans, etc., you tend to get from the same class. I'm saying the same class with another city, you get a little more political consciousness, social consciousness, larger perspective. That's what I feel. I feel in South Mumbai sometimes the narrow corridor happens, and it's not.
I don't know if I would agree with that because I think
we're the worst philosophers.
I think I think there are non-political people in all kinds of areas, right? I think that and I don't think that is necessary.
Okay, all right. Let's not abuse them.
Yeah.
We may need their vote. Who knows what we're going to do with our lives.
That is true.
Yeah. But just want to point out, we do use bad words. In the beginning of the show, we started with them. So hello, come on, for God's sake.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you go to school in any part of Bombay or the world, you will learn.
As long as you drive a vehicle, you learn everything in 3 minutes.
Yeah. As long as you have friends.
I had a friend of mine, female. She learned driving in her 30s, late 30s, 40s. And she used to, because I would tell her about driving and all that. She said, how can you behave so badly? She actually, and one of my great moments, one day she came and told me, maybe 3-4 weeks into driving, you're right. There's no way you can keep your temper. People are so badly behaved. And so finally she started using profanity, which she never uses. And that's what traffic can do to you. I love that. Yeah. That was a seminal moment for me. I felt like, I've come from the mountain with a message. Speaking of message, my message is we have to stop now. Cricket is on, guys.
Okay.
Right. Hey, Abbas, we'll see you soon, right?
Yes, obviously.
And I think we should just a message.
And no going to Madhya Pradesh.
Sorry, a message for all of the people who are listening via the podcasting app, right? Most of the questions we're taking on the AMA right now these days are coming from the live stream. So please do come and check it out at 10 a.m. in the morning. We're available. We're coming on 10 a.m. every Monday to Friday on YouTube. So we're doing most of the AMA questions for there. So if you want to get your AMA question in, please do come visit us on the live stream. Little promoing.
You have my support?
Yes, I little promoing I need to do now.
Please like, share, and subscribe. Right. Tell your friends about this. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Please like my YouTube channel.
What the fuck is going on? This is like semi-finals of the Miss India. Everybody's doing their own thing here. Come on.
It's all promoing. We all got to promo stuff, man. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Yes, for sure.
This is a sophisticated channel and show. Let's end by all saying the word shoot, just to show that we are very secular. Huh? All right.
Sure. All right. See you, Choots.
Cheers. Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In, or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
Whether you're an established sports person or a budding one, or simply a sports enthusiast, join us, Tanvi and Shlok.
We are two passionate pro badminton players talking policy, mindset and everything sport.
So tune in to the Millennial Athlete every Monday.
Only on the IVM Podcast Network.
Trust us, it's gonna be lit.
What are some of the radical changes that are now shaping our workspace? With physical distancing and heightened safety protocols being the norm, will technology finally make its large-scale entry to the workspace? Will design as we know it change for the long term? Is it possible for the Indian commercial real estate space to adopt a 360-degree approach to sustainability? Join our hosts at the Future of Space podcast by RMZ as we deliberate with industry leaders, analysts, and bright young minds on the way forward for the workspace given the new COVID normal. Tune in to the IVM Podcasts app or wherever you stream your favorite podcasts